whatever you wind up doing is exactly what you should be doing.
And I have not behaved one single day of my life. Not one day of my life have I behaved, and I am fine.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're going to hurt some people.
Whose car are we going to take?
Hello. Thanks for joining us on the Nikki Medoro Show. And it is a very special day. Yes, I saw it in the comments. When she comes, we will be sure to wish our Kim a very, very happy birthday. So it is Kim's birthday. So if you guys want to send her some happy birthday messages, I'm sure she would absolutely love that. We have a great show coming up for you today. We're going to start off by talking about, I'm not a huge golf follower. I don't watch golf, actually. I don't follow golf at all. I mean, I follow the news surrounding golf. And the whole partnership between the PGA and LIV Golf, it's Saudi backed, does surprise me. Does it surprise any of you? I mean, I'm reading reaction and a lot of people are just saying it's just basically money. But, we often talk about the power of the dollar, right? And what it means when you do or don't support something. And so my question, of course, is, should we be watching golf anymore? I mean, now that they've done this, now that they're teaming up with this Saudi back, the money, I mean, it's blood money. That's what it's basically, Jamal Khashoggi, his murder at the hands of the Crown Prince, which is what has been determined, at the order of the Crown Prince, I should say. I don't know how you could do business with that. And I know there was a lot of criticism for some golfers, Phil Mickelson and others, who, were like, I'm moving away from the PGA. I'm going to the LIV tour. And it's insane, I think. What do you guys think? Oh, and we're starting them off. I'm going to say thank you early. Thank you guys. Angel, Wes, thank you for the donations to our super chat. It is Kim McAllister's birthday. So if you guys want to throw some up at her, that would be awesome. So perfect. But when she comes, we'll definitely, should I sing? I think, you guys are just going to deal with me singing happy birthday to her. But anyway, so we're going to talk about the PGA Tour, what you guys think about it. Is this something that we should even focus on? I mean, money is money, capitalism, we live in this type of society. So maybe it's not that big of a deal. I feel like it is, but again, I don't watch golf. So I don't really have to change my habits. Kind of staying in the sports realm. It's like a new town, new city, same problem for the A's. So the Nevada legislature has adjourned without passing a bill regarding the Oakland A's ballpark. Who's surprised? Anybody? This thing's been an S show since the beginning. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So they've done that. I have a little a news clip talking about what's next for all that. What's next is headaches. We know, us in the Bay Area, we know. It's just a big old thing of headaches. I don't think in any way, shape, or form this means that the Oakland A's are staying in Oakland. But it's nice to see the fact that Vegas wasn't able to do it so quickly. Also this hour, I'll take S that didn't happen for 1,000, Mayim. Mayim Bialik. I chose her as the Jeopardy host. Harris Faulkner, she's a Fox commentator. She made quite the claim of what happened to her inside a restaurant. And I love the fact that she won't provide any details because it didn't freaking happen. I'm going to play you the clip and then you tell me what is more Christ-like behavior, right? Because she's going to go off on how she's a Christian. Remember, we were talking about it. If you missed any of our show yesterday, we were talking about that Duggar family documentary, Shiny Happy People, and how this, find a fundamentalist belief system is infiltrating politics, the military, police, and please, it's always been with conservative talk show hosts. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Ron DeSantis. He could actually. I mean, it's not a done deal yet. But DeSantis could possibly face charges for shipping those migrants. I teased it a bit yesterday. We didn't get too into it, but we'll talk a little bit about that. Here in California, Temecula Valley School Board has rejected a curriculum for social studies because it would have included information about Harvey Milk. And the consequence of this rejection is honestly such a harm to the education of these students as a whole in social studies, because it all has to do with the textbook. And there's a point made in this story about parent participation that just is so true. It's like when stories like this come out, people are like, oh, well, it was only this tiny majority or this one or two people that protested. Yeah, well, where's the rest of the parents that don't see it the same way? How loud are you being? We need to wake up. There's a memorial taking shape in Las Vegas to honor those that lost their lives in that mass shooting. This as Texas Republicans are using Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh. They're using Winnie the Pooh to teach kids about active shooters. It blows my mind. In San Francisco, there is a grocery store that has taken a unique way of handling loitering in their parking lot. Now, they have had to stop it. It literally, I think, just happened today that they had to stop it. But I don't know. I kind of found it to be a little funny in a unique way of handling things that you don't want happening in your parking lot. Actor Cuba Gooding Jr. has settled his civil sex abuse case. This comes on the heels of that 70 Show's actor Danny Masterson being convicted of 2 counts of rape. Bijou Phillips, his wife, I mean, she was beside. I can't imagine. I cannot imagine being married to someone that's accused of rape, taken to court, and then found guilty. But she says she's going to stand by him. Would you be able to stand by a spouse? I mean, if you truly believe that he's innocent, but Scientology was wrapped up in this whole thing, it's nuts. Also, if we have time, I want to get into a little flying news. You can now apparently make a reservation to go through security at a couple of airports. I'll tell you which ones they are. And they've redesigned those double-decker airplane seats. I'll show you the design from last year and this year, and all I think is butt cracks and farts. But you guys will just have to tell me why anybody thinks this is going to be a good idea. Oh, you guys are so awesome. Beth, thank you so much. A $10 donation to our super chat for Kim's birthday. Harry came in with $10 as well. And also Jim. Oh, thank you. She should be here any minute. She usually arrives in the next 5 minutes or so. So yeah, we'll pass those along to her. Again, the super chat is live. That's the way people are donating their money. You could do it during the live broadcast right now, or you could do it during the replay, which I know a lot of you catch the replay. So just look for the $ under the live chat, and you could donate to Kim. You could donate to the show. It's awesome. We really appreciate it. It's one of the ways we can monetize and keep the show going. Another free way of supporting the show, of course, is by clicking the thumbs up. Just click that thumbs up button every day before during the show, and YouTube loves it. I love it. It really helps us out. And then please consider becoming a monthly subscriber to our show. It's very simple. You just go to theNikkiMedoroShow.com, look for the Patreon link. You can become a Medorable, as I love to call you guys, and you can join for any amount. I don't have tiers because I don't think that that's fair. I mean, people come from different economic means, and I just want the support, and Kim wants the support. And so any amount that you can, and if you could bump it up, if you're able to afford it, we would really appreciate it as well. So theNikkiMedoroShow.com is our link to get to our Patreon. Our PayPal link is there, and the merch shop is there as well. So go check that out if you haven't checked out any of our merchandise. And if you buy it, and I know I've got some sweatshirts that have just gone out, I have a bunch of things that have just gone out, take pictures, send them to me. You don't have to put your face in it if you don't want to, but I'd love to see the Nikki Medoro Show fans in their merch, whatever it is, whether it's a cup or a blanket or a sweatshirt or a t-shirt, just let me know. And we really, really do appreciate it. I was going to touch on this, and I see it in the chat, John. Frank Somerville. I'm just going to say this. If you know the latest news, my heart goes out to you, Frank. Frank Somerville, just an icon in Bay Area TV news. And we've touched on his issues. He's given that interview to Cron not too long ago, talking about his issues with drinking. Well, he's still obviously fighting through that. And so our prayers and good thoughts go to Frank Somerville, but we're not going to talk about it anymore because we know the story, and it's sad. It really, really is sad. Okay. Lori says, I don't watch or know golf, so I have uninformed opinion. Supposedly golfers are athletes and sport takes a toll on their body. If your income is dependent on your body, go for the money, I say. So let's get into it. So LIV Golf is a Saudi-funded golf league. And it's been, coming up against the PGA Tour, which is the kind of the iconic, the big names, Tiger Woods and other people as part of it. Well, after months of back and forths, lawsuits, right? Both sides had filed lawsuits against each other. LIV Golf filed an antitrust suit saying the PGA Tour was intentionally trying to stop competition. The PGA Tour countered with a lawsuit claiming LIV committed tortious interference by encouraging golfers to violate terms of their existing tour contracts. I don't know if I said that word right. I tried my best. All right. So anyways, today it comes out that both sides have agreed to mutually end all pending litigation between the participating parties. We don't know many details about it. The negotiations took place in secret. We don't know how and when LIV players would be welcomed to PGA's tour. We don't know the schedule yet. There's LIV still has 7 remaining events, apparently. Even PGA Tour, according to the Washington Post, even PGA Tour players are confused on social media. And then there's, of course, a lot of backlash. And this has to do with the fact that LIV Golf is backed by the Saudis. They're going to continue to be a major financial backer of the tour. Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund will be the premier corporate sponsor. Now, LIV Golf has deep pockets. They were able to get some of the biggest names in golf: Phil Mickelson, Dustin Johnson, Cameron Smith, Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau. I don't know. Again, I don't watch golf. The LIV Tour had 8 events last year, 7 so far this year, but they have never turned a profit. I'm just going to stop right there. I don't watch golf. I don't find watching golf entertaining. I've gone to, shoot some balls, the driving range, and that's kind of fun. Top golf's very fun. I don't see watching golf as being very fun, but I'm not judging you. If you like it, you like it. The LIV Tour struggled to find a broadcast partner. They eventually signed a deal with CW Network, but it wasn't that big of a deal. And this is the biggest thing. LIV Golf has been criticized as sports washing. And this is the thing that sticks out with me, okay? They call it an attempt by the Saudi Arabian government to distract from the country's human rights abuses, including, the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. The CIA did conclude that the Saudi crown prince approved of Khashoggi's murder. Players have been asked about the moral implications of playing for LIV. Mickelson even said the Saudis were scary MFers to get involved with. He eventually had to take a leave of absence from the game. So what do you guys think? Is this something that we should care about? Do we care that Saudi Arabia is backing one of our major sports franchise or teaming up with PGA Golf? I don't feel like I do feel like it's sports washing. I do feel like they're trying to paint a pretty picture on themselves, pretty face. Don't look behind the curtain at all the atrocities we've committed. We fund golf. Harry, a callback to yesterday's conversation. The PGA-LIV shows that money wins again. It's so Duggar-like. Yeah, like you could give up your morals for money, right? It's disappointing. It's really, really disappointing that, and I'll say this, even people like Phil Mickelson and others that are just like, you know what? I do it for the money. I got to make money. They want to pay me the most amount of money. I'm not asking too many questions. I'm paraphrasing, but obviously if you work for the tour, then It doesn't bother you that much. And Lori has a good idea. Take the crazy money they're offering and donate some portion to organizations that support human rights organizations and anti-Saudi groups. I actually like that idea. A lot, Lori. All right. Well, some people are reacting. Koepka, who's part of the Brooks Koepka, I think I'm pronouncing his name right. He's rubbing salt in the wounds of the critics of the LIV Golf partnership with the PGA Tour. He's tweeted, "Welfare check on Chambly." Now, Brandel Chambly is a Golf Channel analyst who has been a huge critic of LIV Golf, and I'm only imagining how he feels about this partnership with PGA Golf. I can't imagine that he's happy about it, but at the same time, it's not up to him. I mean, he works. I mean, I guess he can give up his job. Here is CNBC's David Faber talking with the commissioner of the PGA Tour on the potential backlash, and I'll have some other backlash to show you as well, because it really, I don't want to say it's gross, but it's a bit gross to just ignore all of the atrocities of the Saudi government.
Well, listen, a lot of people have been reading about the tension, and that we've talked a lot. And I said previously that we were going down our path, they were going down theirs. And today, that tension goes away. The litigation is dropped. We're announcing to the world that on behalf of this game, we're coming together. And it's less about how people respond today, and it's all about how people respond in 10 years. And when they see the impact that we're having on this game together, there'll be a lot of smiles on people's faces, and there'll be a lot more people playing this game all over the world. And if you're a young player that wants to get to the highest level of the game today, you'll be more inspired than you've ever been.
You'd be more inspired than you ever been. Liz says LIV Golf are held at Trump's Bedminster. Don't know where else. Yeah, they have had 7 so far this year events. And asking who owns it. It's backed by the Saudi government. So yeah. James says Saudi government is pure evil. Also, LIV is probably meant to be another means of peddling corruption and influence, just like FIFA. Oh. And Randy with the truth. It's all about the money. And it is. It so is. Let's welcome the birthday girl to the show.
Oh. Hi.
Happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you.
Hold on. Here we go. I got your little sign that I got made for you. Happy birthday.
So sweet. How did you know?
Birdie told me.
Okay.
I have it in my phone, silly. Of course I have it in my phone.
I love the sign. That's adorable.
Yeah, there you go. I made that for you this morning. And we've already had a ton of people donating for your birthday. So let's throw some of them up. Angel and Wes and Beth and Harry and Jim. Everybody's been so generous for your birthday, my friend. So I hope
so nice
that you're going to be spoiled later on today.
You guys spoiled me over there in the chat. And you, Nikki, that's so kind.
So are you doing anything fun?
Red, is that a turtleneck you have on?
It's a thermal. I'm freezing my ass off in my house right now.
You look cute.
It's raining. It's raining. It's June 6th, people.
Rain and tacos. No.
From out of the sky. It's a kid song. So what are you doing for your birthday? We'll put the LIV tour on hold for a second.
Not much, because we have the 8th grade graduation tomorrow. So there's so much that I have to do. I've volunteered to be part of the graduation committee. So there's stuff I have to do, things on my plate. I feel like this week I'm going nuts. I have a to-do list a mile long. So, when you get older, your birthday is not
never. I don't subscribe to that belief whatsoever. No, my friend. Lee Cobb also donated to $20 to your birthday.
Thank you. I do think I'm gonna open this tonight. This is I'm frozen. This is the Why Are You Yelling Red?
Oh, good. From Mark Thompson.
I will open that tonight and have a glass of wine tonight.
Well, good. I mean, I love, you need to have your once a month cocktail. Please have
Yeah.
your once a month cocktail. Uh, maybe do something this weekend and have a yummy dinner. See,
Yeah.
that's my whole thing. I need special food. I don't care about anything else. I don't need gifts. I mean,
Right.
gifts are nice, but I want food. I want to eat a
My-
yummy dinner or lunch or something. I want that. That's what I want. So
I
make sure you
asked
spoil yourself.
for a clean kitchen.
Oh, there you go.
I asked for when someone orders something to please break down the boxes and put them away and get all the crap off the dining room table. That's what I asked for.
I swear, moms,
That's what I want.
To me. Can you just act like a member of the family and clean up after yourself? And that'll make me
That's it.
so happy. Thank you.
That's what I want.
Well, happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you.
I love you, and I hope you have a great day. So we're talking about the LIV tour, and that's the Saudi-backed golf tour that was siphoning away PGA Tour members. Now they're teaming up with the PGA Tour, so they're one and the same. A lot of people are saying, they're just taking the money. One guy was like, it's hard to think of institutions in America that are not completely broken. Today, the PGA Tour joins a list in a shameful and horrendous act of profound betrayal to the United States, 9/11 dead, 9/11 families, 9/11 first responders, and the ethics of golf. What a disgrace. Here is Dave Portnoy. He's the Barstool president. I have a little bit of sound from him. I mean, people are just ripping this decision. They're not getting paid either. So there you go.
So sick of this PGA commissioner, like talking about 9/11 and this and that, and then somebody. It's like, buddy, it's about the money. It's only about the money. You know, it's only about the money. Stop saying all this other stuff. Somebody sent me the PGA Tour. I think has an event, a European event in Saudi Arabia. Anybody who's outraged, and you can be outraged. Saudi Arabia is like one of our biggest trade partners. We're like begging them right now, I think, to redo oil with us because stuff. So, like, yes, they do fucked up shit, but out all this has nothing to do with that.
Does he have the power to suspend people? Can you?
Who, the PGA? Yeah, he suspended. Yeah, they suspended him. But I just don't. I don't. You can, like, all right. I'm not saying. Well, I am saying if Saudi Arabia is like, Dave, I'm going to give you $1 billion to move Barstool's headquarters to Saudi Arabia, and you only have to be here one day a year, I will do that so fast.
See?
It'll make your fucking head spin, Jerry. It'll make your fucking head spin.
All right. Well, he keeps cussing. But
It's a lot of F-bombs there in one
listen to what he's
moment.
saying. Listen to what he's saying. And and that's my question. That's why I wanted to actually pull that is what people will do for money. Right now, Kim, if Saudi Arabia called you up and said, I will pay you $1 billion and you can work from home.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even have to come to Saudi Arabia. Would you take it?
Did I just spend the last 6 months talking about how awful Saudi Arabia was and their brutality against everyone and how anyone who played for their golf team or network or whatever it is, if everyone who took the money is morally bankrupt because they want the money and they don't care about the human rights abuses or anything else, did I just spend the last 6 months to a year talking about that? Then I'm the biggest hypocrite in the world for turning around and taking the money myself.
Right, but you still get $1 billion. So
No.
wait. Okay, let's be honest. And that's fine if you say no. What if you didn't spend 6 months saying any of
Then
that?
possibly yes.
Okay, so if you're just like,
But I'm not going to be a hypocrite and contradict myself. Mm-mm.
Interesting. I love that. I absolutely love that. I think I would be just like you if I had spent 6 months to or whatever. I mean, Saudi Arabia is Saudi Arabia. But the reason why I wanted to play Portnoy's clip right there was because it is a bit rich for the United States to act like we don't need or work with Saudi Arabia, right? I mean, they're going to be reducing oil production again, and Biden has to go over there, and she's going to have another conversation. I hope that doesn't happen. But again, it's this. With one hand, we're going to criticize you, and with the other hand, we still need to work with you.
Right.
And that's just the way things go. I love Randy's honesty. I'm taking the money and then try to do something worthwhile with a lot of it. Lori was saying the same thing, like donate it to anti-Saudi groups, like use their own money against them.
That's
would
good.
kind of be cool.
You guys are smart. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So we'll see if it works. Again, not many details have come out about this. I do think that I think at the very least, it's gross, especially if you have President Trump. This is what he said. He's like, great news from LIV Golf, a big, beautiful, and glamorous deal for the wonderful world of golf. Congrats to all.
It's because he took the money at the beginning and didn't worry about it.
Right.
He's
And
like,
he says,
anyone who wants to give me money, I'll take it, says
Oh,
Trump.
well, yeah, he is the epitome of that. He says all the golfers that remain quote unquote loyal to the very disloyal PGA in all of its different forms will pay a big price when the inevitable merger with LIV comes, and you get nothing but a big thank you from PGA officials who are making millions of dollars a year. If you don't take the money now, you'll get nothing after the merger takes place, and only say how smart the original signees were. So I don't know. I mean, again, anything that Trump supports, I'm like, I wouldn't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole, but whatever. Let me throw this one more sports story in before we go to headlines. And you might have this in your headlines, Kim. So the Nevada legislature has adjourned last night without passing a bill to deal with the A's ballpark. So now this report came out yesterday, this news report I'm going to play you a little clip from, but it applies because, again, they didn't have a vote. And this is what could come next. Here we go.
Public reaction to SB 509 in Nevada has mostly been negative. In fact, on the state of Nevada's website, public votes show about 72% of registered respondents are opposing public funding for an A's ballpark. There's also some question about the projected numbers that have been pitched to lawmakers that are necessary to make this ballpark plan viable. The A's say that they would need to draw 2.5 million visitors annually, which would help repay Clark County's contribution to the ballpark. The problem is, with a 30,000 seat ballpark and some of the renderings you're seeing here, to do the math, that means the A's would need to sell out the ballpark every single game at 30,000 for 30 years in a row to properly pay off the bonds.
The A's suck. I mean, unless people are going just to see the stadium, I don't know if that's going to sell it out every game for 30 years. Unless they have a pool of money to draw, I don't know, players from the Yankees or all these other great teams. Why would they ever think that they're going to be able to sell out that stadium every game for 30 years? Yeah, Eric, you're absolutely correct. Like I've said before, the A's owner should pay for their own darn stadium. Yeah. So I don't, it's just so rich that they were like full speed ahead. We have this, binding deal or non-binding deal or whatever with Vegas, and we're blasting it everywhere. And you don't have a deal yet. And you're having the same problems in Vegas that you had in Oakland. And, I'm glad. I am. I think that, the A's, like the Raiders, don't come at me, just, they betray their fan base, and not the A's, but the A's owner. So I'll clarify.
Did you see the story recently that the city of Sacramento says they would welcome Sacramento A's? If it falls apart, the deal in Vegas, they would love, they said, to have the A's come.
Are they outside the rights, like San Jose always tried, but they were outside the rights?
I don't know. I don't know how, if it stretches northward.
That could work in Sacramento. Sacramento has been, revitalizing themselves with that whole rail yard, the stadium with the Kings and everybody. It's really nice, and they got the beam and everything. So I could see Sacramento being a nice, viable option.
Yeah.
I see it very hard to believe that the A's ownership would stay anywhere in California after making such a big deal about needing to leave. So there you go. All right, we're going to do some headlines with the birthday girl. Happy birthday, Kim. When we come back, I'll take S that didn't happen for 1,000, Mayim. Harris Faulkner. She's a commentator on Fox News. She claimed something happened to her inside a restaurant. I'm going to play it for you. It's kind of adding on to our conversation about religion, not just in politics, but in media and things like that. And we'll also tie in the migrants being shipped to Sacramento from Florida. And could Ron DeSantis actually face charges for it? One person says, yeah, it might actually happen. We'll talk about all of that. Please click the thumbs up button And here's some headlines.
Now, from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
Let us start with this fine story regarding the field of Republican hopefuls. We've got a picture of Chris Christie. That's right. The field of Republican hopefuls for the 2024 presidential race about to get bigger. Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie is expected to formally launch his White House bid tonight. That wasn't intentional. At a town hall event in New Hampshire. On Wednesday, and this picture by popular demand, on Wednesday, former Vice President Pence is expected to formally announce his candidacy in Des Moines. I know you said you wanted the fly picture, Nikki.
I did. Can I just say this? I think that Chris Christie is only, and now if Chris Christie ran away with it for some weird reason, that'd be shocking. But I'm going to say this. The only reason I think he has joined the race is to be kind of an instigator for Trump. Yeah, absolutely. He just say all the things because he doesn't give two rats' butts about, not about being president, but he wants to be the person that doesn't care to go up against him because he's gone up against him before. So I'm actually excited if he does that. If he doesn't and he just, kind of toes the line, I'll be like, get out of the race there.
On a debate stage with those two going at it, Christie and Trump, Mike Pence will probably just stand there and say nothing.
Oh, he's so
he's so milquetoast.
Thank you. I love that. But you'll spell it right when you do it. You saw how Trump spelled Kayleigh McEnany. He called her milquetoast, but he actually spelled it Milk. He's such an idiot.
This happening, the White House saying explosions destroyed a dam in Russian-controlled southern Ukraine and caused massive flooding and evacuations there as well. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby saying the administration is now very closely monitoring this situation and can't confirm reports that Russia is to blame. Both Ukrainian and Russian forces blamed each other for this attack. The feud, as Nikki had mentioned previously, between governors of California, Gavin Newsom, and Florida's Ron DeSantis escalating. California Democrat Governor Newsom threatening Florida Republican DeSantis with kidnapping charges stemming from South American migrants being sent to Sacramento, allegedly by the state of Florida. Now Governor Gavin Newsom trying to look into who paid to have those migrants shipped to California and to Sacramento. Okay, I have a picture of this next story. It's a little UFO-y, so I want to make sure that I get you this UFO photo so you can see for yourself. Here it is. An Air Force veteran claiming the U.S. government has intact vehicles that are of non-human origin. 36-year-old David Charles Grush filed a whistleblower complaint with Congress and the Intelligence Community Inspector General over classified information he says proves the recoveries of these crafts. In an interview with News Nation, Grush and senior and former intelligence officers said that they provided him with proof that they were part of a secret craft retrieval program. He also told the website The Debrief he's been providing Congress with evidence about the program since 2022. What is it? Is there an explanation? Is he crazy? I don't know. Did you know that actor Pete Davidson bought a ferry? He might have some buyer's remorse, apparently.
I love this story. This is like one of my favorite stories of today. Go ahead.
He might have some buyer's remorse over the purchase of this Staten Island ferry. During a Transformers Rise of the Beasts premiere, the comedian told Entertainment Tonight he has no idea what's happening with the ferry he bought with fellow SNL star Colin Yost. Davidson admitted he and Yost were very stoned when they plunked down $280,000 with other investors to buy this decommissioned vessel. So, yeah.
So funny. So I was hearing that, maybe they'll use it for a party or some sort of event or whatever. I just love the fact that he admitted, he's like, we were stoned. We looked at it. I mean, imagine having that much money though. You know what I mean?
Like below 280 grand just cause.
Yeah. But he's still making payments on it. He's like, does anybody want to take off my hands? Let's not do it.
Does anybody want this ferry?
Like anybody want this ferry? Please.
At least he didn't buy it alone. But I love that he has not even a clue about what's going on with it.
Oh, yeah.
You would think if you were one of the owners that you'd be down there walking the ship, what needs to be done to, make it so we can rent it out for venues or, weddings or whatever.
Right.
He's like, yeah, me and Colin were just very stoned a year ago, bought a ferry, and we're figuring it out.
I mean, how stoned did you have to stay in for how long? I mean, there's being stoned and having an idea, and then there's sustained stoned where you continue to sign paperwork and hand over money. Like that's, I don't know.
The Entertainment Tonight reporter asked him if he's going to throw an after party event on the boat. He said, yeah, if it's not sunk.
Just sink it now and collect the insurance. Jeez,
I mean, yeah. Imagine owning your own Staten Island ferry. It's kind of a cool idea.
I would be partying in that. I mean, I'm surprised they haven't at least thrown a party in it. Hire some people, clean it out, get a party on there, do something.
I think they need to paint it. It's not a very cute color.
No, and it's not moving because it's decommissioned, right? So there's like apparently it's just trash and needs a lot of work or whatever. But if you have whatever the amount they spent on it, spend a little bit more and fix the damn thing up. At least make the facade look nice. It doesn't have to work.
Right. I think so too. Here's another picture of him standing in front of the Staten Island ferry. See if I can, just because you can kind of see it's in a little bit more decay than it looks like in this picture. Here's the other one. You kind of, I don't know.
He's like, this was a stupid idea. Well, there you go. Now you have evidence of it all. There you go.
The Nikki Medoro Show is indeed crowdfunded, which means we rely on you. So you can find the Patreon and the PayPal links at thenikkimedoroshow.com, thenikkimedoroshow.com. I'm Kim McAllister on The Nikki Medoro Show. Thank you for this
time. Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. All right, I love you. Everybody loves Kim. Happy birthday. Go spoil yourself today. Please do that. All right. So, there are stories and then there are stories. Now, again, I can't say for sure that Harris Faulkner is lying. I will say this. I think she is. I think she's full. So Harris Faulkner, I'm going to play the video for you. You'll know who she is when you see her. She's on Fox News. She's full of crap, in my opinion. I'm just going to say it. I think she's totally full of crap.
Okay.
Here's a story that she decided. And then again, this is what she claims happened to her. And I just want you to remember, if you were here for our conversation yesterday regarding the Duggars and fundamentalist religion. Just infiltrating politics, military, police, what have you. They do it in the media as well. So here we go. Here's Harris Faulkner making some sort of odd claim on her show. Okay, here we go.
The Lord has determined I am a woman, and my pronouns are USA. Our nation's soul is at stake. And we really only have a couple of choices. Three, really. We can be bad at protecting the greatest nation on the earth. We can be average at protecting the greatest nation on the earth. Or we can be elite at protecting the greatest nation on earth. We know who we are, and we know whose we are. For those of us who believe, we must be bold in our faith right now.
Listen.
When you gather in public spaces, pray thankfully over your food. Even when the server gives you the stink eye or tells the manager that your peaceful grace is triggering them.
She is so full of
Had
crap.
it happen to me. I've been asked to leave a restaurant for openly bowing my head in prayer hands.
That never freaking happened. That never freaking happened.
I can't believe she's for real.
Like, you are so full of it, Harris.
My pronouns are USA.
My pronouns are USA. I mean, there is no way.
Your pronouns are DUMB is what your pronouns are.
ASS, dummy. She's full of it. That did not happen. Let's just finish her stupid story.
In America.
It's
all good. They don't deserve my money anyway. Corporations are learning this the hard way as they choose some odd course of DE&I public relations. Make that choice over the people who actually keep the lights on.
Oh, like we don't.
My faith determines my values. And I hope you are living by your values and what brings you joy and peace and love. And I believe people can love who they want. Be free, be happy. Just don't force me to bend to your will and your belief system simply because you feel a certain way.
Nobody's asking you to.
Then
Nobody's
why would
asking
other
you.
people
You don't
have to bend
yeah.
to your belief system?
You
So
don't
what
have
she's-
to. Yeah. I'm just gonna say, like, you don't have to buy the Pride stuff merchandise. That's not bending. That's not indoctrination. I was listening to this guy on TikTok, and he says, I don't, in response to the Target backlash, and he's like, if I go, he's like, I don't drink, but everywhere I go, I see ads for beer and liquor. Am I being indoctrinated? Like, what is indoctrination to these people? But when she says live by your values, what values? I would assume she's talking about her religious values, right? Her moral values.
Right.
So it's a bit weird that they don't treat people the way their faith clearly states they should. I wanted to show you this, and this is a quote that often goes around. Barry Goldwater's quote. Have you guys seen this? It often goes around. He lost to Lyndon Johnson. He says, mark my word, if and when these preachers get control of the Republican Party, and they're sure trying to do so, it's going to be a terrible damn problem. Frankly, these people frighten me. Politics and governing demand compromise, but these Christians believe they are acting in the name of God, so they can't and won't compromise. I know. I've tried to deal with them. That was a long ass time ago that he made that statement.
Should have listened to him.
I mean, he's obviously a huge conservative. So it's interesting that he's calling out members of his own party. James is like, she was probably bowing her head and making prayer hands while shouting right-wing praises of hatred and waving around a rifle and a Confederate flag. Doesn't even need to do that. You know what they do? Is they say they're Christian. They say they have faith, that they live with certain values. And then what do? They take innocent migrants, they put them on a plane, and they ship them to Sacramento like they're cattle. Because that's what Christians do, apparently.
What I don't understand is she said she wants you to be able to love who you want to love, but she doesn't want you to try to make her bend to your will.
And I don't know what that means.
By saying love who you want to love, but don't make me look at it. Don't make me, have anything to, don't be in my sight, in my space. Doesn't that then normalize the way she's living and make everyone else have to bend to her will?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't understand that. There's a big protest brewing this weekend in Petaluma.
Oh, really?
What I understand is there is a drag queen library story hour.
Oh God, please go.
Library. Right. I didn't know it was happening until a viewer texted me or Facebook messaged me, hey, this person says they're going to go protest because it is a fetish. Drag is a sexual fetish that they're bringing to children. How would you respond? And I tried to think yesterday, we were talking about Pete Buttigieg and the response to late-term abortion, which was brilliant because it's exactly the truth. And it puts words to everything that we're thinking, right? You don't have an abortion that late without already having the clothes and the dresser and the crib in the room. It's a trauma.
Right.
So I was thinking, what's the best response to people who say that drag is a sexual fetish, and by bringing it to the library, you're trying to indoctrinate children into that fetish? And all of my responses that I could think of were long about why they're wrong, and I need something shorter. That's what I'm looking for. So if anyone has anything, let me know.
I mean, you could say that they're trying to indoctrinate you into not liking drag people, right? Stop trying to convince me drag queens are groomers. Yeah. Stop trying to make me hate drag queens. They are trying to indoctrinate people into viewing others the way they do. Mm-hmm. That's it. I get if you were at a school or inside a business and let's just say drag queens were coming in and you had no choice but to sit there and I would say, okay, if you can't leave, if there's no choice involved, but parents who are bringing their children to drag queen story hour are bringing their own children to drag queen story hour. Parents who are buying onesies that say "Be kind" with a rainbow are making a choice for themselves to do that.
Mm-hmm.
These other people are the ones that are yelling and screaming at you to dislike certain people. LGBTQ people aren't saying that. They're just saying we exist. Can you treat us with the same respect that you treat other people? We're not asking you to be a drag queen. We're not asking you to be gay married. We're not asking you to be in a homosexual relationship. We are not asking you to do anything except accept us for who we are telling you we are. That's it. That's it. But these other people are trying to indoctrinate people into hating other people. So I would just say, don't make me. Don't. Our friend Maureen Langan has that great quote. Don't make me
hate you.
Don't make me hate you.
Yeah.
You know, you freaking bring her out there.
Yeah.
But that's kind of it. Like, don't make me hate drag queens. It's not right. Just mind your own business. That's what you could do. You could do the whole, keep your eyes on your own paper. Why are you here? Who are you trying to save? We didn't ask you to be here. Nobody's asking these people to show up. They're choosing to do this. They're choosing to make themselves kind of the focus of attention. I don't think they got enough attention as children. But please, let me know how it goes.
I think it's June 10th is the date of the event. So I think I'm going to, I mean,
that's what, Saturday?
You have to think about it. Like, okay, if I know there's a big protest, or I really want to bring my kids where there could be violence or ugliness or whatever. But on the other hand, I kind of want to support the library and the drag queens who are fun and lovely. There's been a lot of talk too about, well, you've seen them at nightclubs doing their gyrations and their this and their that. Okay, what happens in a nightclub where they have an age limit, completely different than what happens at the library during story hour. Totally different.
Why don't they, and the truth of the matter is, if you have such a problem with, adult entertainment with drag queens, why are you not at every single strip club that there is? If you don't want to see anything sexualized, why do you only have a problem with drag queens and not anything else?
Why don't you have a problem with toddlers to tiaras or whatever?
Exactly.
The beauty pageants for little kids. Why don't you have a problem with the local dance troupe in town and the way the costumes they put their dancers in? Little girls with midriffs bared and painted faces and sexualizing of children. If you have a problem, and I was reading last night, about groomers. And did you know that you're more likely to be groomed or molested, your kids or whatever, if you are at a church, at a sporting activity, or in a home? That's where the real groomers are.
That's where it's going.
So it's almost like it's these Christian fundamentalist people saying, look away from where the real trouble is.
Oh, of
Look
course.
away from where the real trouble is. We're going to point you over here to these people who have nothing to do with the problem. But when you do that, you paint targets on people's back. That's dangerous.
Yeah. And again, the values, right? It's like, what about the Christian values of loving your neighbor? I mentioned this yesterday. If Jesus Christ himself, really, if Jesus Christ himself was here, do you think that he would be protesting drag queens? No, he'd be standing with them, right? Mary Magdalene, I don't know if you know all these stories, but it's like, please stop. They know they're full of crap. They know damn well they're not living by these Christian values that they claim to have. They're bigots. They're filled with hate. They suck so bad. And again, DeSantis might actually face charges for sending those migrants to Sacramento. They already did it in Massachusetts. So a Texas sheriff has recommended charges. They said they have officially filed a completed criminal case with the Bexar County DA's office regarding the incident. But this was the one at Martha's Vineyard. And then they think, the same thing could happen in this case as well. They think the federal government should be looking into it. Again, here's what I would say. To DeSantis and all of those people, it's, what do you say to people who have come here legally, right? and want to, or seeking asylum, which is a law in our country, what do you say to them? I want them to just come up with a statement. I want them to be called on the carpet, because obviously it's get out. That's the truth. If they were going to actually say it, the actual truth is get out, but they're not going to say it like that because that's cruel. I'd love to ask Ron DeSantis, talking about drag queens in the LGBTQ community, what do you say to members of the LGBTQ community who live in Florida? Period. Question mark. That's it. Nothing else. Just what is your message to members of the LGBTQ community who live in Florida? I want to hear what the answer to that is. Because his actions and his rhetoric would say, I don't care about you. But what's he actually going to say if he was called on the carpet? I know. And James's Florida now requires furry conventions to be adult only.
Is that true?
Yeah, it is. It is. Because they heard that some people get off on furries and other people just like it. I feel like people that make these rules don't even understand the community in which they're trying to regulate, quote unquote. It's just annoying. Lori says, Kim, to baby beauty pageants and little girls in very adult specialized outfits kind of freaks me out. Some types of pedophiles like these displays.
Yeah.
Did you ever see, oh God, I forget the name of it, but it was the Brooke Shields documentary.
Yeah. Pretty Baby.
Pretty Baby.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was a part, I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched the beginning. And there was a part of it that really stuck out to me. And they were talking about, the rise of the feminist movement, birth control pills in the 70s and everything like that. And how women, were getting their own power.
Yeah.
And so instead of paying attention to those women anymore, what do? They started sexualizing younger children with body types that older women, developed women don't have, right? And so it was this sexualization of children who were meek, who could be controlled because they're children. And then putting this unattainable body image on grown women who are supposed to look like children.
Yeah.
I mean, they sexualized Brooke Shields. They've sexualized, all these teenage girls. And yet so many in this group don't see the tie to that anymore. These southern states who love these kid beauty pageants, but we'll call drag queens groomers, as if there aren't perverts taking.
Well, because they've normalized this sexualization of children.
It's
right?
Gross.
We're grooming. I mean, if you want to call it
that's
groomers,
grooming.
Society is grooming them. That's right. To be little sexual beings.
You should have the pageant little, you should have with their face blurred out, right? You should have that. Like, this is grooming. And then have a picture of a drag queen and say, this is not grooming.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Oh, Blue Lagoon, sexualized, endless love.
Yeah.
Blue Lagoon. I remember seeing that movie for the first time, and that scene. Oh my God. I still feel like I'm a little traumatized by it.
I think there are scenes in, I want to say it was Pretty Baby, where she was 13, 14 and had to kiss a grown-up man.
And it was her first kiss. And in that documentary, he says it doesn't count. It doesn't count. And that was the only way she would relax. That's grooming. I mean, I'm not going to call the guy a groomer, the actor, but when you have children making out in movies with grown men, and just because you call it acting for a movie, now all of a sudden it's okay. It's amazing the stories we tell ourselves that it's okay. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, so they're just rich. And then the whole Harvey Milk thing. The Temecula Valley Unified School District, their elementary schools, may not have enough social study textbooks for the next school year because most of the school board voted to oppose a new curriculum simply because it mentions gay rights leader Harvey Milk, who was assassinated. They voted 3-2 last month to oppose the new curriculum, but it leaves the district with only the option of using the current textbook, which isn't being printed anymore. So instead of educating kids, they've decided to forego educating all of them. They don't have enough textbooks, so there's going to be a hit to the education simply because it mentions Harvey Milk.
Hi, I'm busy. You have to go.
Sorry, just
Isn't that nice?
I
Jacob's
know.
homesick.
Hi, Jacob. It's like he doesn't know when our show's on, Kim. I
Welcome.
mean, geez.
He just opens the door, comes on in, no big
There you
deal.
go.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I mean, they're not going to have enough textbooks simply for kindergarten through 5th grade.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to talk about Harvey Milk. They say that he's a pedophile. Unsubstantiated, obviously. They called him a pedophile. And then, but this is the part that stuck out to me. So apparently, board members Jennifer Wiersma, Danny Gonzalez, Joseph Komrovsky voted against the curriculum, while other board members, 2 of them, voted in favor. They voiced concerns about milk in the curriculum. Wiersma opposed the mention of the LGBTQ community. And Wiersma and Gonzalez said they wished parents and community members were more involved in vetting the new social studies curriculum from the start of the process. Only a few responded to the survey. I don't understand. It's like when you vote and not everybody turns out. It's like, well, 90% of people voted in favor of X, Y, and Z legislation. But when you look at the voter turnout as a whole, it was like 25%. So 90% of the 25% of the people who voted got something through. Now, again, that's not on the people that, voted for or against it and participated. It's on all those people that stood on the sidelines. We have to stop standing on the sidelines of things like this. When there are school board meetings, you need to be there because they're going to, the loud minority voices are going to make changes that will impact you. All these people, I don't vote, it doesn't matter. I don't vote, it doesn't matter. Okay, you are literally telling, oftentimes, a loud minority how you should live your life. And this is not the time to do that. It's not the time to do that. So yeah. These poor elementary school students they're screwed. So good luck. Harvey Milk, educate yourself, people. Just freaking educate yourself. All right. Coming up after Kim's news. I don't know if did you see the local story about the San Francisco Safeway and what they were doing to get rid of loitering?
No.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you about that. Kind of genius. Not quite sure if it would work on me. But possibly, we would see. Okay, so I'll get into that. There's a memorial happening in development in Las Vegas because of the shooting. At the same time, the Texas Republicans are using a beloved cartoon character to teach children about active shooters because this is the way to handle it. No talk about guns. Let's use cartoon characters to kind of ease the trauma of kids having to do active shooter drills. That is the answer from your conservative party. That's all coming up after Kim's news.
Now, from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
Today marks the 79th anniversary of D-Day. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin joined World War II veterans and others in France today, where he noted how desperate the battle was as the largest armada in history delivered tens of thousands of soldiers into the jaws of death. He praised the bravery of all those who fought, calling it the courage that liberated a continent. It is the 79th anniversary of D-Day. No major delays to Hawaii's ocean cargo deliveries are expected, despite several recent labor disruptions on the mainland. It's happening at our ports. Dock workers at some shipping terminals at the ports of Long Beach, Oakland, and Tacoma slowed labor in protest on Friday. Most labor operations resumed to normal Monday. There was only one delay that affected Hawaii. A Masterson ship scheduled to arrive in Honolulu arrived just a day late. But this is something brewing at our nation's ports, as work stoppages are a way that workers look to maybe get in the way of AI coming to help at ports and eliminate jobs. So there's big concern there. At one point, egg prices here in California were as high as $7.50 per dozen. Well, those prices inspired many people to take up raising chickens in their backyards. Chicken in your backyard, Nikki? I don't know. What do you think? good way to
No.
thwart those egg prices? Why not?
Well, one, I don't eat that many eggs. I'm not a big egg eater. If it was my dad, he'd be like, yes, my dad eats like eggs every single morning. That chickens are kind of messy. You need to have like the pen and there's food and I don't know.
Well, here in Petaluma, it's not such a big deal. And if to have a chicken in your yard, even if you're in a subdivision or like a area of the city where you wouldn't normally think it was agricultural, but chickens in Petaluma, I mean, it's all right. But I guess, according to Sacramento's Western Feed and Pet Supply, getting a chicken will set you back about $300 for the chicks that you need, a heat lamp, basic supplies, a hen house, and feed. It only makes sense if you eat more than a dozen eggs a week. If you don't, then you don't really need the chicken. After the first year, backyard chicken wranglers could save about $30 a year. Sacramento only allows 3 chickens to be owned per parcel, and the city does not allow anyone to own a rooster because that's loud.
No roosters. $30 a year. Unless I was a huge animal lover and I wanted to own a chicken, there's no way I would do it.
I mean, you know then that where your food is coming from.
Yeah, the chicken's butt. It's fine. I know where all the other eggs are coming from too. I mean,
you know that it's not, you haven't been pumping it full of hormones or, that what it's eating is organic maybe, or all these other things. So I don't know.
I'm
maybe
just not one of those people. Would you get chickens?
No, I wouldn't.
I don't want to take care of anything else. Exactly. I don't want. Look, you guys know it was a surprise. I got Nugget, my dog. I am not a huge animal person. It's hard enough keeping these kids alive and the dog alive and my husband alive, myself alive. I add chicks to it.
You know what it would be? It would just be another thing I have to do.
Exactly. That's exactly what I mean.
Feed the chickens, clean up their poop, make sure that the what is it you sprinkle on the ground is down, and if I have a chicken problem, then I have to go to the chicken vet. There's just I just can't add it to my repertoire.
Yeah, I don't want to add it to my to-do list.
Right.
I just don't. And again, if I was a huge egg eater, right, or I had a way of selling them or whatever, fine. But that's not me. It doesn't apply to me. So no, I'm a big no.
No can do.
No can do.
UPS. Union members are on the verge of taking a vote to authorize a strike against UPS, the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, and the shipping company trying to come to a new agreement before their contract runs out at the end of July. The vote will be held this week. Imagine if UPS drivers went on a strike. That would be ugly.
Yeah,
that would be
no
get our
bueno.
things.
I know. I mean, USPS, I would assume. But if you already have, at least it's not during Christmas season. Do I know anybody? My brother-in-law used to work, I think, for FedEx, not UPS. So, no. Yeah. I feel like we have so many strikes going on right now.
Yeah, it's true. Well, it's kind of strike season, right?
I guess.
I don't know. There are some new developments, though, on the legal battle over a Florida law that prevents certain medical treatments for transgender youth. A federal judge is ordering the state to stop enforcing the ban on gender-affirming care for patients under the age of 18 for 3 families earlier today. The ruling is in response to an injunction the families filed last month. The U.S. District Judge saying the caregivers are likely to win their overall case after they claim the law denied parents the right to make medical decisions for their own. The ruling will not benefit those who are not named in the suit, but it shows the judge how the judge may rule on this case in the future. So,
let people just do their own medical stuff. It just, again, why should we allow other people, the government, to regulate our medical decisions? I just don't understand.
Yeah, because it's the new hot button issue, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it is officially, and this is kind of a scary one, the deadliest time of the year for teenage drivers.
Oh, really?
Driver,
graduation season?
Slow down, don't drink. These are where the reminders come in, right? A AAA saying the 100 days between Memorial Day and Labor Day is when there are the most accidents involving teens. It's also when teens are more susceptible to risky behavior, as you mentioned, like speeding and distracted driving. AAA says traffic accidents are the leading cause of death for 16 to 19-year-olds, and it urges them to put down their phones, don't drive overnight, and to make sure to wear seatbelts. So these are the reminders. It's time to if you have a teen driver, grandkid, kid, I don't even care if they look at you askance. Remind them. We want to keep our teens safe, right?
Yep, exactly. Well, just always be safe. You know what I mean? Just always be safe.
What do you think the most loved company in America is?
Disney? Probably not right now.
That was pretty good.
I don't
most
know.
loved. It is.
Uh-huh.
I know. I don't think you'll be surprised by the answer. Patagonia.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because they're environmental and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they
right?
top a list of the most loved companies in the U.S. This clothing company taking the top spot in a new Axios and Harris poll. Costco, John Deere, Trader Joe's, and Chick-fil-A round out the top 5.
Right.
The poll ranks the reputations of the top 100 most visible brands in the nation. So Patagonia topping the list.
All right.
Yeah. This show is crowdfunded, which means we rely on you. You can find the Patreon and the PayPal links at thenikkimedoroshow.com. And we thank you. I'm Kim McAllister on The Nikki Medoro Show.
Yes, and let's sing Happy Birthday to you.
So
Happy
nice.
birthday to you. Happy birthday is the hardest song ever to sing, but happy birthday to you, my friend.
Thank
Spoil
you.
yourself today. And thank you to everybody that's been donating money for your birthday. I think Forward was the last one, gave $20. Lee Kopp with $20, Jim with $9,
Nice.
Harry with 10, Beth with 10, Wes with 5, and Angel with 20. Thank you guys.
You guys
You're
are kind.
so
Thank you.
generous. So yeah, and I like my little banner for you right there. Okay. So again, go to thenikkimedoroshow.com. Please sign up to become a monthly subscriber. It helps us out, and we love it.
I love Harry's message. Here's for your Macalatini.
Macalatini. I like that name. I thought we had a Kimikaze though. Lori above the bar at the Red Jack Saloon. You got to go see her and try the cocktails. I think she has a Kimikaze, which is fun to say.
That's cool.
There you go. Yeah. So the Kimikaze, the Medoro Mule, and the Martini. Is that what it is? The Martini?
Yeah, Martini. Yeah.
The Martini. There you go. Yeah. So you just go in there and you ask, and a portion of it goes and supports our shows. So it's awesome. So thank you. Okay. So in Las Vegas, a memorial for Las Vegas mass shooting victims is taking shape. Pardon me. There are some ideas. There's 5 potential designs. A series of white angel wings that rise from the earth, bathed in a warm glow of light, is one idea. So there's a bunch of different renderings for it. And it's, it's just tragic. And again, I know the Las Vegas shooting. Is that still top the list of our largest mass shooting? The Las Vegas one? I think so. I want to say it's up there, but I want to say it's the worst. If there's a bigger one, I don't know it off the top of my head. I apologize. But again, we still haven't done anything. I mean, Newtown, I said again, kindergartners, preschoolers, first graders shot and killed, and we didn't do anything about guns. We're not doing it now. Well, look at what Texas Republicans are doing to deal with the problem of gun violence. So apparently, reports have emerged that elementary school children in Texas are being provided with Winnie the Pooh books that teach them how to respond in the event of a mass shooting. So here's a picture. So, look at this. There's obviously the image right there. And so you see, if danger finds us, don't stay, run away. If we can't get away, we have to fight with all our might. Like Kanga and Roo do, it's better to fight together. When the danger is gone, we should not fuss. Instead, wait for a teacher or the police to come find us. This is America, people.
Okay, I'd like to say it. This is not normal.
No, this is frightening and sad. This is America.
By the way, you're right. I was looking up the deadliest mass shootings in U.S. history in Las Vegas, Nevada. On the Strip, which happened in 2017, included 58 fatalities and 867 injuries, and it is at the top of the list.
Yeah, I thought so. I mean, you can't
Pulse
just
Night
go down
Club is second.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Virginia
concert
Tech
in a
for-
club full of people. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the Virginia Tech one, but that was the one decades ago, correct?
That was in 2007.
The Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Oh, was it because wasn't there 2 Virginia Tech ones? I apologize.
Probably. I don't know.
This is so awful.
Newtown, Connecticut is 4th with
Mhm.
Sandy Hook. And then the Texas First Baptist Church in 2017 is 5th.
Jesus.
Those are your top 5. How we rank such things now. Is that crazy?
It's awful. But again, instead of doing something, right? Like you heard Nikki Haley yesterday, I don't trust the government to regulate red flag warnings. You're an idiot. Sorry to say it so bluntly. Like, we can do this. We just have to use common sense. We just have to use common sense. But no, let's give kids who are facing, they're doing mental health studies now on how these active shooter drills, which shouldn't surprise anybody, is having an impact on children's mental health. But it's the drag queens that are detrimental to our children. We must protect our children from the drag queens, but not from the violence that happens inside their own schools. It's insane that this is the answer that they have come up with. The distribution of the work occurred just a week after the anniversary of the shooting in Uvalde, which claimed the lives of 19 students. And Gavin Newsom responded. He said, Winnie the Pooh is now teaching Texas kids about active shooters because the elected officials do not have the courage to keep our kids safe and pass common sense gun safety laws. Nikki Haley wants to get rid of gun-free zones. She says gun-free zones are the problem. If everybody had a gun, then everyone would be safe. Tell that to the people in Uvalde. They were surrounded by people with guns. And how long did they wait as children were being massacred? So I'm just saying, like, Republicans are full of crap. They don't care about your kids. They don't. They're like, oh, well, if I could save one unborn fetus, then my job is done. But the living, breathing children who are dying must be sacrificed so we can protect our God-given, in their belief, Second Amendment right to own a gun. It blows my freaking mind. It really, really does.
Yeah, instead of the white angel wings, how about some laws that would prevent anyone else from being hurt?
Yeah. You know,
Just a thought.
I understand having memorials for people and things like that, but it's just, let's do something. If you really want to honor these people's lives, make it harder to get guns. Just do it. But there's so many guns now on our streets, and I'm not beating an old drum over here, but there's so many guns. I'm not saying it's past the point of no return, but even if we did have common sense gun laws, there's still so many guns on our streets. It's sad. Okay, let's just switch things up a little bit. So Safeway. There is a Safeway in the Fillmore district.
Okay.
And they're fed up with loiters. Okay. And I'm assuming loiters is a euphemism for homeless people hanging out in their parking lot. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the one on Webster Street. And apparently it has been blasting classical music at all hours of the day and night from its parking lot for the last week. According to SFGate, neighbors have lodged multiple complaints with the 311 system and the San Francisco's non-emergency line, but the music has continued. Now, today, there was an update that they turned it off. That was according to a company spokesman. That was at 10 o'clock this morning. They finally turned it off. Apparently, in the past, the nonstop sound was coming from a Live View Technology mobile surveillance unit. It's a solar-powered device that fits into a single parking space. It has lights, thermal imaging, loudspeakers, intended to decrease retail theft and increase safety. What do you think? I mean, at least it's not Barney. I mean, it's classical music. Would that work for you? I mean, would that work for you?
At least, you know what I think? At least they're not closing the store for that neighborhood.
Right.
You know, all the people complaining about the classical music, they could have no Safeway in their neighborhood. If they prefer that, okay.
I think I have sound of this here. Hold on, let me see. I think I might have sound of the here. Da, 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 da. So yeah, that's the device right there.
That's fine.
I mean, would you mind? I'm like, if you did, not that I don't like rock and roll, right? But I feel like classical music could be relaxing to some people.
It could be okay. I think it would be better if it was like death metal. That would drive people away. Like, because you can maybe take that for a while, but not for hours and hours and hours trying to sleep,
or like a loud pitch, like whiny sound or something like that. Something you don't want to drive away. Ha! Jim with the comment of the day. What if it was Cars for Kids commercial?
That now you're talking. Now you're cooking with
Jim,
fire.
they should have hired you. Baby Shark. Oh, hold on. Baby Shark. Or It's a Small World, which I will agree with you, Wes. Worst song. Yeah. I don't ride the ride simply because of it. Yeah, Kim, I'm thinking
those are all the people
classical
in the area.
Music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would possibly like it. But yeah, I thought it was pretty funny that that's the way they're trying to deter the homeless is with music, kind of torturing people away from their store. It's not against the law to just walk around a store, but I think that if they're setting up camps and things like that, we need to do something about that, right?
Well, and how sad is it that nothing is being done to help these businesses? And so they have to take it upon themselves to come up with probably what are pretty expensive alternatives to try to keep people away from their stores, to try to keep their customers safe. Because you don't want someone out there panhandling every time someone walks out of Safeway.
No.
And you don't want people feeling like they're under threat when they walk out, grabbing their purse close to them as they walk in to spend money.
Mm-hmm.
So, it shows that San Francisco needs to do something for businesses because they're not safe. They're not feeling safe, and they're taking measures like this where you have this, this little music system. It's kind of ingenious, really.
I mean, again, and I know we're all like mentioning songs. Jim says "Let It Go" from Frozen forever. Yeah. Kathleen, Master of Puppets. I mean, I'm a huge Metallica fan, so I don't know how many times you'll be able to listen to it in a row. But I will say, if I was a customer, the novelty wouldn't wear off. If I was loitering, it would probably drive me nuts.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But I just thought it was kind of a funny way of dealing with something that they want to go away. Yeah. Did you see this headline out of Hollywood? Actor Cuba Gooding Jr. has settled his civil sex abuse case just as the trial was set to begin. The actor has settled accusations that he raped a woman in a New York City hotel a decade ago. He insisted through lawyers that his encounter with the woman was consensual when they met in a nearby restaurant. What do you think when you hear that Cuba Gooding Jr. has settled the suit, the sexual assault lawsuit? Do you think it makes him look guiltier or more innocent? Because the woman agreed to the settlement. So
what is it? A civil settlement?
So it's a civil settlement.
I mean, you could say then that he is now probably doesn't have to admit any wrongdoing.
Right.
And he forks over quite a bit of money to her. So he paid her to go away. Or was she after money the whole time? It's good on him for doing that. It makes him look better. Just because now we'll never get
really know
a verdict like Trump got a verdict where he was, found guilty of sex abuse, where in this case, we'll never know because it was the whole thing was settled, done.
Yeah. So the lawsuit originally sought $6 million in damage. One of this, Gloria Allred, who was representing the woman, said it was filed against Cuba Gooding Jr., who authorities say has been accused of committing sexual misconduct against more than 30 other women. Now, this includes groping, unwanted kissing, and other inappropriate behavior. So kind of Trumpy, if you ask me. Not saying he's guilty of it, but the whole you can grab him if you're a celebrity. It seems like the accusations are similar.
It's so disappointing because I like him as an actor.
Oh, yeah. I used to have the biggest crush on Cuba Gooding Jr. when I was young. After I watched Boys in the Hood, which was like his breakout role, I had the hugest crush on him. My mom always even to this day, whenever she sees him, she's like, "You loved him." I was like, "I did. I thought he was so cute." But yeah, so apparently he's settled. And then this also comes after news. What was it? Was it Thursday or Friday of last week? That Danny Masterson from that 70s show, remember you had the ties to Scientology? He was found guilty of rape. He was on 2 counts of rape.
And that's a criminal trial.
He was taken away. He's going to prison. Bijou Phillips is his wife. Apparently she was not prepared for the verdict. She's terrified about the sentencing. He faces up to 30 years in life in prison. And apparently she said she has told everyone close to her she has no plans to leave him. Let me ask you, Kim, just to put you on. If your husband was convicted, now you could believe your husband, but if he was convicted of 2 counts of rape, would you stay with him?
Do I have knowledge that he didn't do it? Do I know for a fact? Like, are there extenuating circumstances? Is there anything?
I mean, I'm assuming she believes her husband.
The chances are a real good no.
You want to stay with him?
No. I mean, there are cases where people are wrongly convicted.
Of course.
So, I guess if he's looking her in the eye and saying, I didn't do it, then maybe she thinks it's one of those cases. But I think also women can be in complete denial. How could I have been so duped? How could I have been so wrong?
But I think the Scientology angle plays a role in all of that, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming, and this is just an assumption, and I'm trying to find it as I'm talking. I'm assuming she's a Scientologist as well. But maybe she's not. I don't know. But apparently, Masterson has been a member of the church. One woman that accused him of rape back in 2003. So this happened a while ago. These charges come from the years 2001 and 2003. The jury was deadlocked on the 3rd charge. Masterson did not testify, but he argued the acts were consensual. And that's the thing with sexual assault. Whenever we talk about these things, oftentimes these acts happen not in front of other people. The guilty verdicts usually stem from the fact that everyone, even if they don't know each other's stories, are very similar. The Church of Scientology played a significant role in the first trial and an even larger one in the second. The judge allowed expert testimony on church policy. And the church said in a statement after the verdict that the introduction of religion into this trial was an unprecedented violation of the First Amendment. But apparently they've been accused, right, of kind of sweeping all of this under the rug. We don't talk about things like that. The women testified when they reported Masterson to church officials. They were told they were not raped. They were put through ethics programs themselves and were warned against going to law enforcement to report a member of such high standing.
I mean, how do you not bring in religion to the mix if religion is is at the crux of it all?
Right. And why they didn't speak out maybe sooner, why these stories didn't come out until now. Yeah. And of course, these charges date to a period when Masterson was at the height of his fame, when he was on that 70s show. Then he was on that show, The Ranch, with Ashton Kutcher, but was written off the show when the investigation began in 2017. And that's quite the fall from grace. But yeah, I mean, Bijou Phillips, not that I don't want to say I feel for her. I feel for anyone put in that kind of position, right? Where this whole stand by your spouse, your man, your woman, or what have you. Then you bring in Scientology and the weird rules around that. Yeah, it's interesting.
Don't you think, and maybe this is wrong because I've never been through this experience, so it's possible that I could have no idea what I'm saying here, but it seems to me that if you're married to a total creeper like that, and I get that he's an actor, so maybe he's putting on a show at home, but there are indications, when you have sexual relations with the guy. Is he a little too rough with you? Is he, holding you down? I mean, I don't know. It's just like, I feel like she probably knows in the back of her mind that he's a creepy crawler.
Right. And also fame. I will, not to keep talking about former President Trump, but he did have a point when he said, I move on him like a bitch or whatever. Right. when you have, I believe, a certain amount of fame and yes people around you and people always giving you everything you want because of who you are, being told no maybe doesn't hold the same weight as it does outside of that, even though I know obviously people get raped by people that aren't stars. But I think it adds a whole nother layer. You're at the height of your celebrity. Women are throwing themselves at you. And then all of a sudden, you're supposed to believe that she didn't want it? What do you mean you didn't want it? I'm Danny Masterson. I'm on that 70s show. Of course you want it. I don't hear no, and I don't know Scientology's rules regarding, submission even, right? What they are telling men about having sex with women, about the kind of power dynamic, all of those sorts of things. Yeah, rape is about power.
Mm-hmm.
It's about, it's about getting what you want when you want it. Chris says a lot of people have an axe to grind with Scientology. I think Scientology rightfully, in my opinion, brings scrutiny by those who have quote unquote escaped it. But I will say you can apply that to a lot of religions, right? Mormonism, Catholicism, Christianity. We could talk about the dark side of organized religion till we're blue in the face. So I don't think it's a solely Scientology problem, but I do think that the makeup of certain rules within any religion can leave this umbrella of protection from those that are predators. That's the problem. And then you isolate them, as we know with Scientology, right? Also with Scientology, where you make these confessions, these deep, dark secrets that they record. So they have stuff on you. So do you even want to come forward?
Mm-mm.
Or you haven't spoken to your family forever? This is your family. This is your bubble. Where are you supposed to go? It is all a way of controlling you. So it's not much of a stretch that these women would be scared of speaking out, and that the church in and of itself would protect those that have big names and are well known, like Danny Masterson or Tom Cruise.
And give a lot of money to the church.
Exactly.
You don't want to make your cash cow guilty. No.
Do they still have that Scientology TV channel?
I don't know. No.
They have like a 24-hour Scientology channel where I guess they're just indoctrinating and grooming people to use our keywords of the day. But yeah, I mean, they used to have it. I don't know if it's still, I mean, I would assume with all the money they're probably bringing in from big names like this, they can keep it going.
What's the question? Let's put it to you. Do you leave him?
I mean, I think I'd have to. I mean, obviously, I'm like you. It would be hard for me to believe that so many women are coming out with this story that I didn't see signs, right? And so somebody was mentioning in the thing that Bijou Phillips, her dad was a predator or whatever.
Right.
So is there some sort of history there? I don't know. I'm not going to say yes or no.
Yeah.
But I would definitely question it. And then if you're doing time for 30 years behind prison for raping women, I don't know how long I'm holding out that torch, right? I mean, it's crazy. It's really, really crazy. All right. We're going to do another quick headline. And then when we come back, we'll head to the skies. It's almost summer, officially summer, almost official. Though it doesn't feel like it. It's raining this morning. Damn it! I need heat. But you can now.
Weird. The June
I don't
showers.
like it.
Yeah,
it's gonna be cool. And then, was it windy where you were yesterday? Remember, my
breezy.
power went out twice, and I think it was due to, I don't know if it was due to the wind. Something happened. It came back on. Even after I got off the show, I lost right when I ended talking to you, Kim. Like right when we hung up.
Yeah,
power went out again. I was like, again. But it was windy yesterday, but it wasn't everywhere because I was texting with my husband and I was like, is it really windy where you are? And he's like, no, I mean, it's kind of breezy, but I was like, no, it was windy. Like, Dylan and I took Nugget for a walk yesterday evening and it was insanely windy. It was one of those where I was scared that a branch was going to break off the tree. That's how windy it was. And we walked by his school and a branch had actually broken off one of the trees. So I was right about that. But anyways, It is almost summertime. People are traveling. So if you don't want to wait in line, apparently you can make a reservation to go through security. I'll tell you what airports that's being offered at. And then they've redesigned those double-decker seats on airplanes. Now you tell me, I'll show you the pictures, what you think of instantly when you see these pictures. I don't think the redesign helps much, helps a little, but I still wouldn't want to fly like that. I just don't see it. Please click the thumbs up button. You know, it's Kim's birthday today. Happy birthday to our friends. So, you know, if you can't afford anything, you can definitely afford a thumbs up. Right, Kim? You could definitely
that's right.
It's free. Just click the thumbs up button. The super chat is live. Go to thenikkimedoroshow.com. Donate to our Patreon. Helps keep the lights on, and we love it. All right, we'll talk some flying news right after Kim's news.
Now, from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
It's a short little update for you. The mother of the 6-year-old Virginia boy who shot his first grade teacher earlier this year is now facing federal charges. Deja Taylor, or Deja, D-E-J-A, Deja Taylor, is charged with being an unlawful user of a controlled substance in possession of a firearm and making a false statement during the purchase of a firearm. Court documents allege she claimed not to be an unlawful user when purchasing a handgun last year, even though she was a marijuana user. And apparently, if you are in the state of Virginia, you can't have a firearm. So don't lie about it, right? Microsoft will pay $20 million to settle charges that the company illegally collected personal data from children. The Federal Trade Commission announcing the settlement Monday after accusing the tech company of taking info from kids who signed up for an Xbox gaming account without first getting parental consent. Microsoft will have to put stronger protections in place as now part of the settlement. And Make the Road New York is learning more about migrants arriving in New York City. According to their report with Hester Street, 95% of more than the 750 new arrivals intend to seek asylum. But 93% of them say they have yet to find a lawyer, citing the cost of legal fees and not knowing where to find counsel as main barriers. Make the Road New York says 97% of migrants are still living in New York City shelters, nearly all of them saying they can't go anywhere else because they just don't have enough work and they just don't know what to do. There is an Oregon man facing prison time after an FBI bomb technician was shot inside of his booby-trapped home. This happened back in 2018. 71-year-old Gregory Rodvelt had recently lost his property in Williams, Oregon, in a lawsuit, and officials say he set up an elaborate system of traps around the property. He blocked the road with a minivan that had steel animal traps set under the hood, and a hot tub was placed on its side, so when the gate was opened, it would fall on the person opening the gate. Inside of the garage, a rat trap was modified to hold a shotgun shell that would go off when the garage door opened. Inside the house, a wheelchair was rigged to fire a shotgun shell that went off and hit an FBI bomb technician in the leg. The agent was hospitalized. Rodvelt could face at least 20 years in prison when he is sentenced. Can you believe that?
I mean, it's like the R-rated version of Home Alone. Like, what the hell? Like, that's awful.
I mean,
imagine all that stuff. I mean, I
they
wouldn't
really
keep
want
going in
anybody
the
under.
home. Once one thing happened, I'd be like, this house might be booby trapped, right? But that's awful. Jeez Louise.
In Seattle, the
Mhm.
city council is set to vote today on public drug use legislation.
Oh.
Council members will vote on an ordinance that would give the city attorney the authority to prosecute drug possession and public drug cases. It would bring the city of Seattle into compliance with the state's new drug possession law going into effect next month. The city attorney's office says overdose deaths in Seattle in 2022 were up 72% from 2021. So
Wow.
public drug use legislation, they are considering it because they've got such an outlandish problem there that, you know, finally it's time somebody has to do something.
Do you think this was a question I was, mulling in my head the other day? And I'm not saying that I'm against medical marijuana, recreational marijuana, but do you think that, and again, total supporter of it,
Yeah.
that started this whole kind of decline of people using drugs so openly? or do you think that it's something else? I mean, I can smell people smoking weed almost daily if I'm in much of a crowd. Sometimes I can even smell it when I'm in traffic.
Yeah.
And I'm not blaming marijuana for people using fentanyl or heroin or whatever on the streets, but I'm
Right.
just wondering, like, okay, it used to be if you were caught, if you wanted to smoke a joint, you had to hide it, right?
Yeah.
Now it just seems like you could smoke
Out in the
a joint
open.
anywhere. And so is it too far of a leap to go from, I'm just going to smoke this joint here because marijuana is legal, to I'm going to
Right.
do every drug on the street because even though it's not legal.
Also, I was just reading yet another story, and this is in cities across America. The city of Honolulu, Hawaii, they're facing a shortage of police officers. 20%
Really?
of their officers, they have to fill those positions. It's like 390 jobs or something.
Wow.
I forget whether it's 290 or 390, but it's a astronomical, feat trying to get enough officers to take these jobs. They're in one city in the East Bay. They're offering thousands of dollars of a signing bonus to become a police officer. So I think cops are so overworked that if they walk by someone smoking crack pipe, that's the least of their worries. They're looking over here at someone who just got attacked, right? So
That's a good point. But I mean, I think we have to maybe set up a different, and I know again, it's bodies, right? The people to do these departments, but maybe we should. I mean, I'm sorry. When I was a weed smoker, I didn't smoke weed out in public. Okay. If you were stoned, you hid it from the cops. The mentality surrounding doing certain activities in public have changed.
Yeah.
And I'm not blaming weed, but what I'm saying is I do think that added to this erosion of maybe I should do this in the privacy of my own home, or not in front of cops, or find somewhere off the beaten path instead of like right on the sidewalk where everybody could see it.
It's brazen, and it's a problem.
Exactly.
Lastly, let me tell you about this little guy. It is an orange lobster, and it's very rare, apparently.
Oh, okay.
The University of New England is welcoming this rare orange lobster to its science center. Researchers say the bright crustacean is a 1 in 30 million find. The
They didn't eat it, right? It's still alive. Please tell me.
No, you don't eat the 1 in 30 million.
Okay, I
find.
was like, please don't tell me they ate it. Okay, good.
The university is more excited about the lobster having one claw, apparently, as well, because it offers a rare opportunity for students and faculty. They'll get the chance to study how a lobster claw grows in real time. I guess when you lose a claw, you grow it back.
Yeah, it grows back. Yeah,
So the university is also home to a blue lobster named Blueberry and the famous yellow lobster named Banana. So they have to, I don't know what tangerine? What do you name?
Orange.
Blueberry,
Orange, glad you're
banana,
a lobster.
Tangerine. Well, you name it after a food. Blueberry, banana. Yeah.
Orange is a food.
Orangey. Orange creamsicle. There's some white on there. I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah. 1 in
Donald
30
Trump.
million. Donald Trump. Trumpy. Donald. Name it Donald. Oh, that's actually pretty funny. This show is crowdfunded. That means we rely on you. And thank you so much for letting us rely on you. You can find the Patreon and the PayPal links at theNikkiMedoroShow.com. And I have to tell you, Nikki, I got a message the other day from someone apologizing. They said they had lost their job and they just can't contribute, but they love the show, and their friends said they should feel bad for watching it if they're not contributing. I said, absolutely not. If we would never want anyone that doesn't have the funds or is somehow going through tough times to contribute to the show. But if that is not your case, and if you are able to, then we welcome it. But always watch the show, whether you contribute or not. Come on in. We're happy to have you.
Exactly.
I'm Kim McAllister on the Nikki Medoro Show.
And again, click the thumbs up button. Totally free. Helps us support the show. If you can't donate to our Patreon, which obviously we love you to do, or our super chat, share the show with your friends. Go to the NikkiMedoroShow.com. There's some of our recent past shows. Go on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, whatever you use, Instagram, and share the show. I mean, these are free things that help us grow our subscriber numbers and our reach, but we really do appreciate it. I do have to give some more shout outs though, because Nick gave us $50. Happy birthday, Kim McAllister. Annie said, it stopped raining. So come on, people. Let's make it rain. Love
Nick, you're
you,
so
Nick.
generous. That is so
Thank
kind.
you.
What a big donation. And
I
thank
know.
you.
And then Wes came
Yeah.
through with another $10 for Kim's
Oh.
birthday. Cheryl with $20. Let's just do them all since we're here. Cheryl came in with $20. Think Forward with $20.
Yeah.
Lee Kopp with $20. Jim with $10. Harry $10. Beth $10. Wes again for $5. And then Angel started us off. Happy Kim McAllister Day.
Oh, wow.
It's your day, my friend. And see, you said something about like, I'm older and my birthday.
Nobody cares. You know,
every birthday matters. Never make an assumption that you'll not
So
trying to be Debbie Downer, but never assume.
You guys, just the nice messages coming in too. I'm so touched.
Exactly. I
Really
love you.
kind.
Everybody
Yeah.
loves you. Okay. So you know what? I don't love waiting in line at the airport, right? Nobody does.
No.
Nobody does. So there's new airports. I didn't know that you could do this. So maybe, is anybody in the comment done this? You can make a reservation to schedule your security screening in advance.
Oh, I like that.
I like that idea. So last
Yeah.
week, Denver International joined the list. They soft launched Den Reserve. It's a free online service that allows you to make reservations to go through security up to 3 days before the flight. If appointments are still available, customers can also book day of slots.
Oh, you make the appointment 3 days before the
Yeah, so
flight.
you could do
but
it
you
3
still
days
go through security day of your flight.
Right.
Yeah,
So Denver's the third busiest airport in the world. You can make a reservation for one person or a group. Slots are only available, though, between 5 a.m. and 5 p.m., which, if you have an evening flight, that sucks. So you book it. You get a QR code. You show it at the security checkpoint along with your ID. Then travelers who have pre-check or clear are not eligible, though, to make a reservation because you already have your own stinking line. It's only available to general screening passengers. So, yeah. And then Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport also rolled out a similar program called MSP Reserve. That was last week. And you could reserve a slot up to a week in advance, but reservations are only available at Terminal 2 checkpoints between 3:45 in the morning and 8 o'clock in the morning. So I don't feel like that's very helpful. But anyways, so that some of them, let's see. In total, 19 airports are offering reservation systems in partnership with Clear. But again, if you already have a Clear membership, you can't use the reservation system because, again, you already have it. So let's see. LAX here in California offers it. The LAX Fast Lane is what it's called because, of course, it sounds like Disneyland or Magic Mountain.
Like
It's
Fast Pass,
Lane.
right?
Fast Pass, exactly. So you could reserve. I like it. So I'm going to Hawaii for the week of the 4th of July, and I've already told they've already rescheduled my flight. So we're going through Hawaiian. They've already emailed me changing my flight time, which concerns me because it is a holiday week, right?
Mhm.
And I told my dad. He's like, well, you need me to take you to the airport? I'm like, well, we're leaving really early. I'm like, I don't care. I'm getting into the airport 3 hours early. I'll get drunk at the bar. I don't care. I'm on vacation. I don't care. But I am not going to get there with no time to spare. Although we're not flying Southwest or American, or we're flying Hawaiian. So I'm hoping against hope we don't have any issues. But I will, after last summer's debacle of airline problems, starting with Southwest, I'm not putting anything past Hawaiian or any other airline. So
yeah.
So there it is. Fast Lane.
Cool.
So you can do that.
They don't have it at Minetta, which you would probably be flying out of, right?
Yeah, I'm flying out of Minetta. Minetta's, I like my local airport. It's not huge. It's not a big airline or airport. It's just not that big. I go to Phoenix a lot because my brother lives there. That's a big airport. But yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, but I'm flying out of Hawaiian. So, and out of SJC. Minetta.
I like my local airport too, but it's very expensive. So it's
is it?
The Charles Schultz, who is the Snoopy author,
right.
Airport in Santa Rosa. But it is very expensive and you can't really fly very many places because I think they'll fly you to Las Vegas and Seattle,
right. So they don't have a lot of flights
Oregon.
out of there. Yeah.
It's very small, but when you go there, it's like you still walk up the stairs out on the tarmac type of airport. It's very
Oh, it's like,
small.
yeah.
Security line, very short, parking free, wine is there because wine country.
Ooh.
It's very like easy and it's close. And so it's like
you're
not a
acting
big
like you
deal.
have a private plane or something like that. You go
Right.
to your own hangar.
For
And they do
example.
have that. Our good
Mhm.
friend Brett Burkhart, he's done it a couple of times where there's this private plane. I forget the name of it right now. He's going to kill me. I mean, it's not totally private, but it's a
Yeah.
smaller plane. And you do that. You just walk to your own hangar. You can get there 5
Yeah.
minutes before your flight takes off. And
Yeah.
that's pretty nice.
Charter flight or whatever. Mhm.
Exactly. So that's pretty cool. But here, let me show you a picture of the redesign. So you guys remember last year, there was all these headlines about these new type of seats on airlines. And so there was one in 2002, and this is the 2002 one. And then they also have one that they've redesigned. So this was last year's. Okay. So it's double decker. What do you think of when you see this picture?
Squish.
Squish and farts. And
Oh, I wasn't thinking fart.
I
Well,
was thinking
are they?
farts.
Oh, it doesn't look like. If you look at toward the left, they're not. It's not
Open.
plastic on the back.
I
It's-
know. So I was thinking farts, butt cracks. That's what I just think of when I see it. But obviously there's a cover. So they've redesigned it. And this is the redesign. I just think they took the picture from a different angle. Right? I mean,
Yeah.
there might be a little more space, but let's not fool ourselves here, people. It's still you're looking at somebody's ass for I want the top.
I mean, way to pack more people in. If I'm the person that's sitting down on the floor level, I'm feeling claustrophobic.
You obviously have to pay less for that bottom seat, right? I mean, or more for the top seat, or in a lot for that front seat, right? I mean, that first row, sell it like it's first class.
Okay, what if they did this, but they made the seats wider? And they
No, I'm not looking at somebody's
gave you,
ass
like,
all
they,
the time.
they
No.
gave you more leg room so you could stretch out and you wouldn't have to worry about, armrests with other people. Everyone gets 2 armrests. So the seats in the rows are more comfortable, but you still feel like, you're being encroached from both sides. I don't know.
How do I put my head between my legs for a water landing?
You don't do that.
I don't kiss my ass goodbye when we're landing in the water.
You don't.
Okay.
No, that's not going to work out for you.
But right? I mean, is that what they tell us to do? Look under your seat. I'm going to bash my head into the front of that seat instead of saving myself, right? And getting my
No.
flotation device that's supposed to be underneath my seat. No, exactly, Karen, right? The emergency situation, it does not seem safe. And yeah, where's the mask?
They would
It's
have to
supposed to drop
change
down
it.
from the ceiling.
They would have to change it so that you would reach forward and pull the one out of the seat in front of you. Right?
I guess.
Otherwise, because there's no way. You're totally right. She can't
Right.
bend over. Her head would whack into the seat in front of her. So it has to be that there's a little emergency thing right in front of her where she could open up like a little drawer and pull out whatever.
It's not as if anyone's truly believing that if we're landing in the middle of the ocean, unless Sully Sullenberger is landing your freaking plane, that we're going to be making it out that well, right? I mean, I don't know if me putting my head between my legs is really going to save my ass, but we'll see.
What happens when the guy in the green shirt reclines his seat?
Right. Like Wes is saying only the top seats recline. It doesn't look like that the poor long-haired girl on the bottom in pink is going to get much. But maybe if the seat kind of like pushes out a little bit, like the bottom slides out so you can recline. Does that make sense? Like the whole thing kind of moves? I don't know. Not just the
I'm not
back.
loving it.
Neither am I.
Make the planes higher and do a second floor where
Like a
there's
bus,
seats-
like a double-decker bus.
Right, like a double-decker bus. That's fine. If they maybe want the ceiling to be a little lower, okay. But I don't think I like the way this is looking.
I don't either. And I know there's no top of the plane, but what if there's turbulence? Are you going to hit the top of the plane? How does the passenger in the middle seat get out to go to the restroom? Great question. Maybe it's only a two sides. The bottom is the kids section now. Just put your
It's like
kids,
third
four
row
short
seating
people,
in my car.
Like I'll be there looking at somebody's butt the whole time. And I know that it's a seat, but it's still somebody's butt. No. It does look
Wes
like
is
more
right.
like, it does look like more leg room. I like leg room, but I don't need it. I'm a short person. Oh yeah. Parents sit behind them and look down on them. That's true. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah,
you
I don't know how they
have
stand
to
up.
bend- you have to bend over and like kind of, crawl out.
Yeah,
You
I
would
don't
have to flip up that armrest, and
right,
you would
and then
have to
slide out.
you would have to, crouch over
Right.
and kind of stumble your way out of that row of seating.
Chris asks a good question. How do they cram more people when planes are already exceeding payload? Remember, we were talking about the fact, I don't know if we talked about it, weighing people. They're trying to do a study of weighing people before they get on a plane.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see the weight. It's like just like to get an accurate number. But yeah, it's a good point. I don't think we should be trying to cram more people into the plane. I think that we should just make it more comfortable for the prices that we're paying to be on this damn flight. It doesn't seem, maybe her seat folds up. Yeah, but you'd still have to like lean over. I mean, how do you stand up to, you know what I mean? Like, I understand
like
if the pink lady is trying to fold her bottom of her seat up, she still has to like be in an awkward position to turn around, or unless she just kind of grabs the back of the seat in front of her to hold herself up.
So if it was like those old movie theater seats, maybe is what you're talking about, Wes, like the minute you stand up that the seat rest flips up,
But
and so it's not in your way. I don't know.
Yeah, and then where does the carry-on go? I guess in front of you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of room behind that other person. I guess
There's
I don't
a lot
know.
there's a lot of room beneath the green lady in the back.
If it was an Indian plane, they would bolt seats to the outside of the roof. I don't know about that, but it does seem like they're trying to put people on every little inch of the plane. We're like cattle. That's what it is. We are just like cattle, and we're paying out the butt for these flights. I know when I was booking my flight with Hawaiian, they're like, well, you could upgrade to choose this seat. Or I'm like, no, just get me there. I do not care. Like, I'm taking the cheapest as long as I'm sitting and I chose my seats next to my family. That's all I care about. I honestly don't need anything else, but we'll see. They keep floating this idea around, so I'm assuming at some point they're going to do it.
I do like the business class. So it's not the first class prices.
Right. It's a
like
little bit
maybe
roomier.
You pay an extra, I don't know, $35, $50, whatever it is. And then you get a little bit more room. I don't know.
I get it.
nice.
I mean, especially if you're on a long flight, every inch counts, but it seems like we're literally talking about inches as if it's worth it. I don't know. I want first class. I want a bigger seat, a wider seat, all sorts of things. Calvin.
Nice.
Thank you so much for the $50 donation. Gary came just now in with a $20 donation.
Kind.
I swear to God, you guys have been really generous because it is Kim's birthday. I want you to go spoil yourself today, my friend.
Thank you.
I always say, eat a delicious meal. I know your husband cooks, so you should be making you something yummy, or go out to eat. Definitely have your, what is it? Why are you yelling red? Is that what
I'm
you
gonna
got?
have it. I'm gonna have a glass of it. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. You need to go have many, many glasses. Just drink the whole bottle. I know you have things to do tomorrow, but it's your day, Kim. It is your day. Kim
Thanks,
McAllister Day.
everyone. Thank
All
you,
right.
guys.
Well, thank you, everybody. Click the thumbs up button before we leave. Please consider donating to our Patreon by going to theNikkiMedoroShow.com. And we'll talk again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. You're sprout like a beautiful blossom. You're also the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.